Hello, second graders. This week's project is going to be all about creating our end of the year project to celebrate your time at the lower elementary. So you all should have already received an envelope with a popsicle stick and then any color yarn. So some of you have red, some of you have yellow, orange, green, blue, or purple. And I've pre-cut the length that should be more than enough for you to wrap your popsicle stick up in a way that it'll stay together. So every year, the students that leave the lower elementary leave behind a piece of work. So usually in the past it's been the tiles, and every student that was leaving the lower elementary would design their own tiles. Last year was the first year that we sort of moved into working together to create one piece. So each second grader is going to be able to wrap their popsicle stick in a different color, and they will all be returned back to me, and I'll put them together so that it's going to become one beautiful piece that's going to represent the rainbow, which has been such an iconic sort of figure during this time that we've been doing remote learning. So we're going to put it together and we're going to frame it, and it'll eventually live in Molinari Hall so that when you come back and visit us, or anytime you want to stop by the lower elementary, you'll be able to go back and see the piece that your entire class put together. All right, second graders. So you should have received either in the mail or from a pickup these materials that I have in front of me. If you have your materials still in the envelope, please make sure you take them out now. I'm actually going to put a white sheet of paper underneath so that you can see what I'm doing really, really well. So first things that we're going to do, make sure that you don't play around with the yarn because you don't want to tangle it. It's a pain to untangle tangled yarn, so make sure you just leave it the way it is. If you have a Sharpie or a pen at your house, take a moment and write your name on one side of your popsicle stick. We will end up covering it, but if ever in the future we wonder who created such a wonderful popsicle stick or a piece, we'll know. So that's my first step. I'm going to go ahead and write my name. Now, I want you to take your yarn, and if your yarn doesn't have some of them have a little bind in the middle because I thought it helped prevent it from tangling, then you can go ahead and unravel. Just choose one end. So what I'm going to do to make sure that my popsicle stick stays or my yarn stays around my popsicle stick is that I'm going to use some glue. If you have a glue stick is preferred because it dries a little quicker. If not, if you have liquid glue, it'll just take a little longer and it might get a little messier, but you can still give it a try. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on either end of my popsicle stick. And it's going to seem wacky, but it's going to help you in the long run. Now, in order for me to cover my popsicle stick from one end to another, I'm going to show you how I found it helpful. If you find another way that's helpful that you know it's not going to unravel, you can definitely do it that way. But here's the way that I started. I started by taking one end and I'm going to put it where I just put my glue and giving it a nice gentle tap as close to the edge of my popsicle stick as possible. And then I'm going to go down and give it a nice little tap over there too. I'm not going to worry about it getting too close to the edge, but I want to just try my best. And then I'm actually going to flip it or go underneath and do the same thing. If you want, and I highly recommend, I'm going to put some glue on those ends as well. And I'm just going to wrap it the long way about 5 times. So I have, once I have my 5, I'm giving it a nice press on either end so that they really stay on there. I'm going to start wrapping the short way, and you should have more than enough string to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and just on one end, I'm holding where the last string that I just put down, I'm holding this one with this hand, and I'm going to start wrapping it around the short end as best as I can. As close as I can keep them. Just going to go over and over. And then once you get to the end, Here, you see, I've scooched it down as far as I can, and my popsicle stick is as well as I can get it covered. It's okay if you still have some spaces at the end. That's happening for me too. Don't worry too much about it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to get it as close as I can to the end. I probably won't need all this yarn. And so here's what you can do. If you are done and you have no more space to keep unwrapping it or it's getting too difficult, I want you to take some glue. You're going to put some glue on the tip and some glue on top of the yarn of where it is. And you're going to go over it a couple of times so that your piece of yarn will stay in place. Your fingers might get sticky. That's okay. Just make sure you wash them when you're done. There you go. Once you've wrapped it around a couple of times, you can press it down for about 20 seconds. And then you can go ahead and cut off the excess. Your name will be covered, totally okay. What you're going to do when you are done is that you are going to put it back into the envelope where your popsicle stick and yarn were in the first place. And you're going to tape it back down so that it's sealed and it doesn't come out. When you are done, please make sure to drop it off in the box that's going to be labeled second grade popsicle sticks at the lower elementary.